All right, welcome back to the Killer Media Podcast. I am Nick,
And I am Tim.
and today we have some special fun stuff to do.
We do.
Yeah.
It's not your typical review episode.
Yeah,
We both picked a movie that we have seen that the other has not to make them watch it to
Yeah.
get their opinion on
so
it.
for me, I've seen Shaun of the Dead, and hopefully you guys have too. So I gave Tim the pleasure of watching that film.
The pleasure of watching Shaun of the Dead. And I saw ICU, 2019 horror movie, horror crime. Nick has not seen that, so I gave that to him
Yes.
to watch. The pleasure to watch.
Yes.
So we'll get into that in a little bit. That'll be fun. We don't know what each other's thinks of the movies
Yeah.
yet. We will. We don't know yet, so
Not quite.
it'll
Yeah.
be a raw experience.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun.
And we have some questions for each other for when it's our turn.
Yeah. We're gonna delve into them.
Yeah.
We're gonna get in deep, understand why we liked, didn't like, loved, didn't like. We're gonna learn why.
And if our opinions are the same or slightly different or completely different.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. We have no idea. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are now the Killer Media Podcast.
Yeah.
We cut the reviews out because we want to branch out. We don't want to be stuck to just reviews because we're gonna do other stuff. So a slight rebrand, but we're still us.
We've always kind of didn't always stick to reviews, so it's not going to be too jarring, I don't think.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll flow in like this. Look, you didn't
Yeah.
even notice.
Yeah.
So here we go.
To the two viewers.
Just like that to our two viewers.
All right.
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
All right.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about some upcoming horror movies, right quick.
All right.
I think I got two. I think you got two.
Yeah, I got two.
Maybe more. I don't know. I want to talk about the Silent Night, Deadly Night remake. I just heard about this. I think yesterday the news broke. Now, if you don't know what this movie is, you know what this movie is.
Yeah. Who?
I think they do, but who knows?
Maybe.
It's like it's a horror Christmas movie, but it's bad, but good. It's one of those so bad.
Maybe intentional, maybe not intentional. At least the first one.
Yeah, we don't know. The second one I think was intentional.
Still a guilty pleasure, even the first one.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, no, it's good. You follow this kid Billy, had a traumatic experience. His family got murdered by like a mall Santa.
During I forget where they were going. Just a road trip.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
And like they got like a flat tire or something, and a Santa just murdered their whole family.
Yeah.
So he's like, in like the orphanage, and then he just goes kind of psycho when he grows up, and just goes back and kills everybody at the orphanage.
Yeah, nobody addressed his trauma at all and helped him.
It was just very weird.
Yeah. And then just about the second Silent Night, Deadly Night movie, then you learn that he had a brother in the orphanage.
Yeah.
I feel like they left that out in the first one.
Yeah. Well,
then,
he's there. Like, he's like a literal baby in the car.
And
they just show him, and then that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they planned the second one, but
maybe
it's still a good movie.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what they will do, if they're gonna be serious or not, or have it campy like the first one. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's just the acting of the time, like specifically.
Classic 80s schlock. But it's the production company that made the Terrifier films. The Cineverse. So expect it to be extremely bloody and gory.
Yeah.
Which would be good. So it's probably going to be the same vibes of Terrifier. Comedic, kind of in that way. Is what I'm expecting.
Hopefully.
But that'd be good.
I hope maybe they do the second one.
Yeah.
If this one does well.
I hope so.
So I'm
get the same actor back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people are tired of remakes though.
They are.
But if you change it up and make it fresh, I don't ever see problems with remakes.
Yeah. If you make it different enough, but the same core, it's new. It's fresh.
Yeah.
So, and then a movie that's coming out in 2025 that had its premiere at Fantastic Fest, I think, a couple months ago, is Shelby Oaks. Now, this is a movie made by Chris Stuckman. You know that YouTuber who is like a professional critic? You're going to get Stuckmanized, that guy?
No.
You don't know Chris Stuckman? Anyway, he's a famous YouTuber.
Is there a stage name?
Yeah, Chris Stuckman. Well, no, that's his name.
Oh, okay.
But I thought you would know him. He reviews all these movies that come out, and now he's directing one. And the audience seemed to like it. I think it has like a 78 based on the Fantastic Fest showing. So it's like it's a horror crime kind of movie. So I'm excited to see that. He critiques all these horror movies, so let's see if he can actually make a good one. You know, based on like his critiques, because he does it for a living. I think it would be kind of interesting.
It'd be funny, because like you critique and then you
Yeah,
gotta do it.
Now you're making it.
Yeah.
Like, how is it going to be bad? You know, then it's like,
But at the same time, things are subjective. People,
oh,
even
everything.
even a movie that like nobody likes and is
Mm-hmm.
downvoted and Rotten Tomatoes scored like all the way down, like
Mm-hmm.
probably Borderlands. I'm sure there's like 2 people who love the Borderlands movie.
There's
Like
at least one.
they absolutely love it. Like
Yeah.
it was the best movie ever.
There's got to be one person.
But there also is majority.
There is.
Yeah.
But there's no movie that's objective. They're all subjective.
They are, unfortunately. Even if there's a majority of people who don't like it,
it's still there's always going to be that one, and that's fine.
And talking about bad movies, I'll go into a movie that I'm hesitant to watch.
Mhm.
Is the Strangers trilogy that's going to be coming out. The first remake that came out didn't stick the landing.
No,
it was. I have, and it was pretty much a remake of the first one, but they didn't make it as well.
Yeah,
I loved the first Strangers movie.
Yeah, it was unique. It was fun. It was scary.
Yeah, and depressing.
Yeah, the one line in that movie, like, "Why are you doing this?"
Exactly.
Because you were home. I mean, it's a great line.
Yeah.
Because you were home. Come on.
Yeah.
That's cinema.
Yeah.
And in this one, it wasn't the line. They said the same thing, but they said because you let us or something like that. Is that what it was? Or because
you were there. Like, it wasn't because you were home. It was because you were here. It was like they didn't.
Yeah.
They probably should have just did it word for word. It would have been.
Yeah.
It would have been better.
Yeah.
It would have actually paid homage to like the first one. I don't know if the first one or the original actually did well in terms of box office, but they made a second one.
Yeah.
But like this second chapter 2 is pretty much new grounds in terms of the story, because the main character actually lives in this one. She wakes up in the hospital. But I think in the trailer you might actually see the faces of the killer, which
we haven't seen that before.
Yeah, but like I don't know how I feel.
Yeah, you kind of got to keep them secret because that's their thing.
The anonymity. I'm saying that right. The anonymity of the killer, because there's 3 of them, and I think just not knowing their faces, and it could be anybody, like anybody in the town, and I think that's going to be one of the premises, because she met everybody in the town, like a lot of people in the town, because it's a small town.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be it'll be an interesting premise, kind of like being wary of like everybody she talks to, because
you don't know.
Yeah, and it might be even a misdirection in the trailer because of who she's in with the truck with. She kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of excited because if they can actually do really good with the story, then maybe it'll be a favorite. Yeah. But I don't have high expectations, unfortunately.
We always hope these movies are good.
Yeah.
We don't like to see failed movies.
Yeah.
And what is your second movie?
It'll be Companion. I forget.
The Jack Quaid one.
Yes, Jack Quaid. From The Boys and Scream. Was it
6?
6, yes. And technically a little bit of 7 if he's in it. But I liked Jack Quaid. I was introduced in The Boys.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
And I think he's really good at acting, and especially I'm not gonna just the new season. Simon Pegg is in it. They both do really good acting together.
Simon Pegg is a fantastic actor.
That too. Yeah.
Doesn't matter what he's in. Everything I've seen him in, he's really good. He gives it his all.
Yeah.
And I think Shaun of the Dead was his first movie. I could be wrong.
First ever? Okay.
I could be wrong, but I thought I read that.
Okay.
Which, again, good actor. So.
I'm excited because the way that the trailer sets up, it was pretty confusing, but in a good way, because I hate when trailers pretty much give away the entire plot. I would rather see the trailer and I have like some intentions, because when you set the whole story in the trailer and you show a lot of things, then all those expectations, like I would rather have expectations instead of just knowing the whole plot, and then I watch it and then they misdirect the whole trailer. The marketing just has to be good. Yeah. Which I think hopefully this turn it, because it's pretty interesting. It's like Jack Quaid kidnapping a woman that he loves, but then the woman, like, I don't know. There was a lot going on in the trailer,
Yeah,
but I'm definitely intrigued.
the trailer ended and I had no idea what I watched. I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
Like, we don't know the premise.
I think we saw it during Terrifier 3,
Yeah.
in theaters.
Yep.
I think
We
I
did.
saw it before that too, but
Yeah, you did because you told me about it, and then we saw it.
yeah,
And I was like, "Oh, that's what we were talking about."
yeah,
So
I'm excited for that one
I am too.
more than The Strangers.
Yeah, I can see that. It's new and fresh.
Yeah.
So it's always good. All right, let's delve in. The movies.
Yeah. Well, let's start. So, what was your reason for picking I See You
So
for me?
I think I saw this movie like 2, maybe 3 years ago. I think 2. My aunt saw it, and she was like, "Oh, you got to see this movie." So she told me and my mom to watch it. So we did, and I was like, I loved it. I was like, "This is great." And then 2 years later, here we are. I'm like, "What's a movie that I know you haven't seen or I probably haven't?" I'm like, "I remember this movie. I See You." It's a kind of like, I don't want to say indie, but it's one of the ones that I feel like gets slipped under the rug. Like no one's
Yeah.
ever heard of it. I don't even think you've ever heard of it
No, I didn't.
until I mentioned it.
Until you mentioned it,
Yeah.
yeah.
And like it's these small horror movies that are good that nobody has ever heard of. So I wanted to bring it some light, bring it up,
Yeah.
get it noticed.
I'll agree with you on that one.
Yeah, like it. You watch it, and you're like, I see you, but no, it comes together. It's a movie.
It is.
You're
And
on
we'll
you're on your
definitely talk
toes.
about it.
Yeah. So that's why I picked this one
All right.
to give a little less known movie some love. Why did you pick Shaun of the Dead?
All right. Well, you told me that you thought you might have seen it,
I thought I had.
and you said you couldn't even give me any background or story of the movie. So I was like, I'll give it to you because, like, I think it's a must-have, especially because it's a horror comedy, and horror comedies are one of our favorites.
Yeah.
Horror and comedy mixes really well, just
do it
because
right.
it's the contrast. I think.
Yeah.
The horror and then the comedy.
Mhm.
It's like all those expectations, scary movie. So it's a parody of Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
And
I've never seen that.
Neither have I.
So I don't know how to compare it.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit similar, but I think I like Simon Pegg, and I really like this movie. And Edgar Wright directed the movie. I think he did the first Ant-Man movie.
Maybe.
Pretty sure. I did like the first Ant-Man movie.
It was good, yeah.
But then after that, I don't think he's writing or any of it. So they fell off.
Yeah, they fell off.
But Shaun of the Dead, it's a really witty movie, and the cast is like pretty fun, and the style of Edgar Wright, I think he has a good particular style in his movies, and I wanted you to experience it because I was surprised that you haven't seen it because it's a horror comedy.
Yeah,
and it was one of my childhood favorite movies, and I think the wittiness and there's a lot of like callback moments previously in the story that like is like I feel like nothing was like left unanswered. Like everything went together.
It had a specific reason. Yeah. Like there was one moment that I was like, "Oh, that's a good callback."
Exactly.
It served a point.
It's such a fun, like you could just watch it over and over again. So that's why I picked Shaun of the Dead.
Respect.
All
right, so we're gonna find out who goes first here.
It's a little rock paper scissors.
To talk about the movie more in depth.
All right.
So let's go. One round, unless it's a tie.
Yeah.
No, none of this 2 out of 3 bullshit.
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
And all right, you go first. All right.
I See You.
Yeah.
Directed by Adam Randall. 2019 movie, $5 million budget.
Well, no, Shaun of the Dead.
I'm doing Shaun of the Dead? I thought I was going to talk about my movie.
You can't, but it's your turn.
So I'm going to talk about your movie.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me pull up Shaun of the Dead now.
Well, I could talk about Shaun of the Dead.
All right. So, yeah, you're going to talk about it, but I'm going to answer the questions.
So, Shaun of the Dead.
Yes.
Directed by Edgar Wright. Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Do you know who Nick Frost is?
Is he Ed?
Yeah, he's Ed.
Okay. Quick thing. Have you ever seen the movie Flushed Away?
Yes.
He reminds me of the fat, what are they, rats?
Yeah, I think the rats.
Is that who voiced him? Because he kind of looks like
It's been a while. I don't
He literally looks like him with his buck teeth. I was like, that's the rat from Flushed Away.
He could
be. The ferret.
Have you ever played the game?
I think I have.
There's a game like PlayStation 2 era. Like,
Oh, I gotta get it.
yeah, it was,
I gotta play it now.
I like playing the Flush Away game. It was pretty fun.
Oh, interesting.
Um, if you've ever seen Hot Fuzz, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are in there.
Okay.
Um, Simon Pegg is in all the Mission Impossible movies,
Yes.
which I'm not really a big fan of them.
Oh, I think
Just
they're
to
really
say.
good. The later ends are really good. 1 is all right. 2 sucks. 3 is amazing. 4 is 5 is and then once you get to Fallout on, they're fantastic.
Yeah. So those are the two main characters because they do a lot of movies together, especially with Edgar Wright. They're friends. They like to. I think they're very passionate, and I think their charisma together and their chemistry on screen is pretty fun to watch.
Right.
And also they did. Have you ever seen the movie Paul, the
Paul?
alien?
Oh, I haven't seen it, but I know.
Seth Rogen voices the alien Paul.
I know about it. I haven't seen it.
I'm pretty sure he does.
Maybe.
But yeah, I mean, pretty much the plot of the movie was just Sean not taking any action with anything in his life. He always just done the same monotonous thing. And when the zombie outbreak came along, it was pretty much the same thing. But this time his girlfriend had broken up with him because of the same old routine he's always done, always going to the local pub. Any day, even for their anniversary, he never plans ahead like that. And he's torn in two different directions by his friend Ed and his girlfriend and his other roommate Pete. And pretty much the zombie outbreak gives him this chance to do something better and meaningful in the most fun, witty way.
It's a nice plot for you.
Yeah. All right. What do you think the movie did well with?
It does a good job at being. Again, I don't know how to compare it because I haven't seen it, but you can tell they did a good job doing the comedic parts versus the super serious parts. There's moments in this where it's like it gets real. Like they really like forget the comedy. This is real. Like it's mostly Simon Pegg near the end, like with his mom.
Yeah.
And like all that. It's like it got real.
And his stepfather.
Yeah, and the stepfather.
There was good moments.
Like at the end, it all comes full circle. The coming of age, understanding, like it, and it's mainly just Simon Pegg. I mean, he's just
he is the main character.
Yeah. So Sean, and then I have Simon Pegg. He's always it's Simon Pegg. I mean, come on. Again, I think it's his first movie. He gives it his all.
He actually doesn't have. I don't think he has like a lot of movies under his belt.
Well, if you count all the Mission Impossible, but where he's the main character, though.
Yeah, as well as that. But like, he's just really fun to like watch on screen. All of his characters that he plays is like, he gives it his all. I think, no matter what the character is.
Yeah. That's all I got.
That's all you got? No good things? No other good things? Oh, okay.
I didn't like this movie.
You didn't?
I don't like this movie.
Oh, shit. We're going to have some controversy.
I don't like this movie.
Oh, God. Jeez. All right, well, let me know what everything wrong with the movie was.
I didn't laugh once.
Really?
British comedy, it's not funny to me. I was like,
you hear it. He doesn't like the Brits.
This is dry. I think I smirked once, and it was at like when he's calling his mom, and he's like, "We got to kill the stepdad," and he's like, "Oh," I think that I got smirked at, but I didn't find it. It kind of fell flat, the comedy, really? And I think it's the British comedy. Like if you like British comedy and English humor, I think you'll like it, but it didn't land for me.
Really?
Like I don't know. I was bored through the whole movie. I was like, even like the action scenes, they just kind of felt like they were just there.
Okay.
Like it didn't feel like, and it felt cheap. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Cheap.
Like like obviously it's a comedic, it's a parody, it's like low budget, but it just felt like they really didn't put a lot into it.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a lot of like themes of like the zombie comparison of the zombies are pretty much the same as people in his everyday life.
Yeah, they're just kind of like lazy bums doing their own thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It didn't land for me. Wasn't my
Really?
favorite. You know. Uh, yeah, no, I was just bored. The movie felt as boring as Sean's life. Like that's how I'll put it.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Surprised.
yeah.
You might be
Um,
the minority because a lot of people
I
do
I
like
am
it
the
though.
minority. The Rotten Tomatoes has it at like a 93. I am the minority. Uh, I did not like Ed's character.
Oh,
He's
really?
just a shit friend. Like,
He
yeah,
is.
that's
Well,
his
that
character,
is.
but
He's supposed to be.
no, but even then, like, it just, I don't know. I didn't like him.
Because
Like, I didn't find him likable. And again, you're not supposed to, but even with like a great villain, you can like respect it. Like, I didn't like it. Like, he's just such a slob, and
yeah.
like just the way it just didn't connect with me. I was like, it's not fun to. It wasn't funny to watch him.
Okay.
And maybe it's just this movie. I haven't seen again. Simon Pegg's awesome. Like he was the best part of this movie. Like you could tell he really gave it his all. But
Yeah. Whenever they're in the movie, Simon Pegg usually plays like the straight-headed character,
no,
and
hmm
then Nick Frost usually plays like the dumber
yeah,
character
hmm
usually. Um, but I do like I feel like their chemistry together really helps all that stuff.
I think they had the best chemistry. I don't think anybody else had any chemistry whatsoever. Even him and his
Yeah.
girlfriend, no chemistry.
Yeah.
I didn't feel the connection. And yeah, half the movie they're broken up, but
Yeah.
even still, I didn't feel any connection with the actors. Um, what else do I got? And then there was, and I'm not usually one to like call out language in a movie. I don't care. But there was the use of the N word in this.
Oh,
It was completely out of left field, didn't fit at all, and I was just like, why?
I can
And
see
Ed
that.
said it, and I'm like, all right, like I'm done with his character. Like it just didn't make sense.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah,
They probably could have. You can cut that out, but like,
like I'm not one to say it, but it was just totally out of left field. I was like, what?
okay.
I don't know. It just didn't land for me.
I mean, I really liked the aspect of like when you watch it. Maybe your second like if you were to watch it a second time,
Mhm.
I'll get to that. But I think Simon Pegg, him being the main character, and you're supposed to want Simon Pegg to do. You want to see Sean do better versus Ed. Like Ed is a shit friend.
Mhm.
Um, his roommate is kind of an asshole too. So I think he wants to fall in the middle of like kind of being just better than just average and doing the same thing over and over again. And by the end, when Ed turns into a zombie, Ed is still kind of stuck being playing video games
Yeah.
back again. Sean, I mean, obviously coming back to his friend to like play, but I feel like Sean is able to move on and actually get out of that slump.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think I really like that part.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It just didn't do it for me.
Uh,
Like I have written down here the only reason I'd rewatch it is to try to understand why people like it.
okay,
Otherwise, I wouldn't. But maybe in the future, I would.
okay. Um, yeah, like I guess that was one of the other questions. Why or why not did you not enjoy the movie? We kind of delved into that.
Yeah.
What kind of like emotions did the movie give you, and how did it like make you feel?
Bored. Like I don't like this movie did have a good sense of friendship. Like it did bring together the friendship at the end, especially
Yeah.
with the death of Ed and Simon. Like it brought that all together. So it felt good at the end, like seeing that come full circle. Um, kind of Ed like, admitting that I am shit. Like I'm a useless person. Like I don't do anything. I'm sorry. Like
Yeah.
So I think that. But I mean, other than that, I was just kind of just tuned out. I was just kind of bored. I was like,
How did
I
you feel
don't.
about the ending? Because you thought
With Ed,
you confused it with Zombieland. That you thought
yeah, when he said Shaun of the Dead, I think I confused those. But the ending, as in
like all the zombies are pretty much used as
they're just used as pets,
yeah. Well,
like in a zoo or
like
something.
they do the same thing over and over again. So they kind of have the like
Yeah.
the shopping cart corral person constantly getting carts because
Hmm.
that's all he did. So like he's still stuck in like that.
Right. Yeah, I was like, I thought it was dumb. And yeah, again, it's like a parody, so makes sense. I feel like they didn't full blown parody it. Like comparing this to Scary Movie parody,
Yeah.
that went full blown parody. This is kind of combining seriousness with parody to not fully blown. This is a parody.
Hmm.
Like maybe that's where I got lost. Like they didn't mix it well. I didn't know what I was looking for. Maybe Like I went into it thinking parody, but I came out of it thinking they actually tried to make it a serious parody, which I don't think worked for me.
Okay.
I think that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Because you can tell an obvious difference between Scary Movie and this parody
Yeah. Yeah.
wise, like full blown, like 100 times more comedy in Scary Movie. Like I think that's where I'm coming from.
I don't know. I feel like Scary Movie, like, I guess that's where the humor differs. Scary Movie parodying is 100% like the parody, and like you know what the film is.
Right.
I guess I could see how like expectations of what were your expectations
I
of
had high
watching
hope.
it?
I had high hopes for it
Oh, okay.
because of what you said, because of all the critics and all of the audience score.
Mhm.
Everybody loves it. Like, oh, it's gonna be a great movie. It's gonna be a great comedy. But again, I think it's the British. It's dry humor. I'm not a big dry humor
I
kind of
do
fan.
like dry humor.
Like sometimes I do, but like even the British version of The Office, like I don't find it funny.
I can see that.
Like
They have a.
it's I don't like it, and that's probably my main reason.
I know your girlfriend watches Shameless.
Mhm.
There's a British. I think that there was a British version.
Is there?
It was first.
Oh,
Didn't do well.
yeah.
But then the American version did
Mhm.
well. I
Yeah.
don't know. I guess it
You know,
difference in humor.
yeah. I think that's the main disconnect.
But I feel like they did the humor well, even if it was dry. I thought it was pretty witty enough compared to like other humor that is also dry.
Mm.
But I could see where you're coming from, and this is where the controversy we want.
Yeah.
This is
I don't know. I was watching. I'm like, how does anybody like this? That like
wow.
that's what I said. Like this, I expected everybody to be on the tail end of being no, and then the majority being not liking it.
Hmm.
So
All right, I respect it.
yeah, I gave it a 5 out of 10. Like it's extremely okay. Like it didn't wow me
I'd be
at
like 9
all.
out of 10 for me.
Yeah, no, I can't go like 5. Yeah, 5.
All right, I guess 5 is enough where like you could potentially watch it again.
Yeah, it's extremely average.
Okay.
Like I don't despise the movie. I don't like it. I don't despise it. I think there are good aspects to it that people would enjoy.
Mhm.
And again, I rewatch it to try to understand.
Glad you didn't give it a 2 though.
No,
Or like a
it's
1.
not. It's not utter trash. It's just
Ain't,
very very average.
ain't no Borderlands.
No, it's super average.
Would you see now? Would you recommend the movie to other people?
I wrote this down. I would recommend this to people who like British humor. Otherwise, I'd say don't watch it.
Okay, because I was thinking about that. I was like, since you didn't like it, because like I feel like people could still recommend movies
Yeah.
that you don't personally like,
Mhm.
because maybe if you know somebody who likes this type of stuff more, then I think that it's pretty good. Like you could actually see other people's perspective and be like, I didn't like this, but this person probably might like
Yeah.
this, so I'd still recommend this.
Mhm. Yeah, if you like British humor, I'd say go for it. You
Okay.
might like it. The dry, if that's your thing. Otherwise, I would say you can miss it. It's not a must see.
Okay. All right. We really disagreed on this one.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Yeah. I'm shocked, but like
Yeah. Shooketh.
I don't know. I don't know if I expected you to like it.
Mhm.
I just knew I liked it, and I was like, let me give this movie to Tim.
Yeah,
And
I think you expected me to like it because
I
we
did.
both like comedy.
I did. Yeah,
A little switcheroo.
it was.
Mhm.
I'm glad that I'm not glad
It
that
makes
you don't.
things interesting. Right?
It does.
Yeah.
Because maybe I'll find a movie that's dry humor that you will like.
Yeah, maybe that's a goal for you then.
Maybe you'll give this a rewatch and
Maybe.
reconsider.
Give me a few months. I'll rewatch it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll rewatch it in a better setting. Maybe now that I know what to expect, I can have my expectations set to be like, all right, maybe I'll enjoy it more. It's happened before, so you never know.
Yeah. Like, what were the themes? Like, the themes that like
The
were in
biggest
the
one
movie?
that shown to me was like friendship. Like no matter how bad of a friend he is, he's sticking with him because
Mhm.
at the root they're friends.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to like hurt his feelings or throw him away because I mean, I think he knows without him he won't go anywhere. Like he'll just be homeless. Like I think at the end of the day, it's to me it really showed about friendship and moving on like and stuff. So.
Yeah, I would still recommend you just give it another watch because I know second rewatches because I know my opinions of Halloween Ends.
Yeah,
was pretty much
for
about
both of us.
It was
they
about
changed.
dog shit.
Yeah,
and the second rewatch, I actually started to like the film more. So hopefully that can change you.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there was more themes. They're not all my findings, pretty much none of them, because I mean this movie's already been out, so like people have already like discussed this a lot.
Yeah.
But I really do like the themes and like the comparison of the zombies to Simon Pegg's character, and everybody just being a zombie. And I've never watched Dawn of the Dead. Maybe we should give it a watch.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how similar it is. I know like there's a mall scene in Dawn of the Dead where like I'm pretty sure the zombies do carry some of their similar aspects of the life too as well.
Gotcha. Now I've heard Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead is the better version than George Romero's.
Really, I could see that. Like I feel like I could see,
because I think the original is black and white. I think it's like an old movie, but again, they're classic. I don't have nothing against black and white movies, but I hear Zack Snyder's is it's better. Maybe because it's newer. I don't know, but
well, we'll definitely have to give those a watch for sure.
Yes, sir.
Disappointing. It's a little disappointing. Yes, but it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's all subjective.
It is. All right. I guess it's time to talk about.
Let's talk about my movie. Restart the timer here. I'll put 25 minutes on.
Yeah, the movies are pretty differing in terms of like what we recommended. Yeah. I recommended you a horror comedy. You recommended me like a horror crime. Yeah. Which at first I was like, horror crime, like
how can they do that?
Yeah, I was like I was kind of confused. I was like, horror crime. I feel like I've never like seen a horror crime.
Right.
Maybe Saw, Jigsaw, maybe, because those are like thrillers.
It's a crime-ish.
And you have the detective aspect of like trying to catch the killer. But I thought this was a pretty good film.
Oh, you liked it? Okay.
I did.
All right, we agree somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to start this timer.
But how much I like it compared to you and the score, we'll see.
Yeah, that was one of my negatives, the score. So I see you again.
No, you don't. You can't. All
right. Directed by Adam Randall. 2019, $5 million budget. So a basic plot of this movie. There's a lot to spoil here, and I'm just gonna go right into it. It's a pretty old movie, but
2019. I'll stop you there.
It's old, but
2019.
It's
I feel like it's not. I don't know.
It's enough time.
Shaun of the Dead is pretty old. That's pretty old.
All right, for this one in particular, because there's so much waxed up stuff that you're gonna not want to be spoiled. I'll kind of separate it. So a plot that doesn't spoil anything. I have strange occurrences plague a small town detective and his family as he investigates the disappearance of a 12-year-old boy.
You got that right off of Google.
Yeah, I did.
What you explain? Yeah,
I didn't want to spoil anything. I wanted everything. Yeah. That I literally searched summary of the movie.
Yeah, there was another website that I saw like that was summarizing the plot, and for some reason they chose to summarize it a different way.
Interesting.
Yeah, like which kind of spoiled it, but like didn't make sense. But like it didn't spoil it.
Yeah.
But it would have confused people who read the summary, and then watched it and was like confused.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they did it that way, but they did it that way.
So the characters that we have are the Harper family. We have Helen Hunt, who plays Jackie Harper. Helen Hunt is always good, although in this movie it wasn't that great. She's in Twister.
She looked familiar. I never really watched Twister.
She kind of looks like a zombie. She's kind of weird.
I think it's just older age.
Yeah, it was weird. We have Judah Lewis, who played Connor Harper, the son.
Yeah.
And then we had John Tenney, who played Greg Harper, the husband, the detective. And then we have two other characters that I'll wait for.
Okay.
So that's kind of the plot and the characters that we got. So for you,
it's like 3 different plots.
So yeah, I'd
say there's 3.
There's
3.
3 plots, like 2 big storylines.
Yeah,
and they all come together. It's weird.
Yeah.
All right. So from now on, this point, you got enough. I'm gonna spoil it.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into it. So I guess a more in-depth plot that I didn't search up Google is we have my basic plot of the disappearance. So I just want to say right off the bat, you think this movie is paranormal.
Yes, that
Yes.
is 100%
So
what I thought at first.
so here's one, because in the beginning the boy gets thrown off his bike just by nothing, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, something weird's going on.
yeah.
And then there's TVs turning on by themselves. There's disappearing silverware. There's like weird noises going on. So you think it's like a Paranormal Activity type movies, right?
Well, the boy on the bike, I actually didn't think that was paranormal.
Oh,
I
okay.
kind of was under the impression that it was just a wire.
Okay.
I
Even then,
that part, yeah.
even then the house stuff.
But I thought maybe like there was gonna be supernatural stuff
Mm.
along with like
Yeah. Okay.
actual real like it would have been like I feel like that would have been bad if they did it that way. The way that
It would have been too much.
Yeah.
So they kind of make you think one thing about the movie, it's supernatural or paranormal, and then later on in the film you realize no, it's just people invading other people's houses just to see how long they can go without getting caught.
Yeah.
Totally innocent. It's like, I guess, a YouTube trend in that movie. I don't
Yeah,
know if it's a real thing.
called frogging.
Yeah, PH, not FRO. PHROGGING, frogging.
Oh, one of the dumb moments that I found when the kid's on the computer and the guy goes,
do you know what frog?
"Do you know what frog?" I thought that was a little dumb.
Yeah.
I feel like it was unnecessary. I feel like maybe they shouldn't have just said those lines and just he was sent like a picture of like or the video of like
of him or something
like that. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that would have been a little bit better. Little exposition that's like just thrown out there where like I felt like the movie was pretty easy to follow.
Yeah, once it got going, you're kind of like, all right, and then it kind of connects things. You're like, oh, okay.
But I do have some negatives.
Oh yeah, of course.
But after you're finished.
Yeah, so we have that plot twist. It's not paranormal. It's just normal people sneaking into people's houses, messing with them.
No.
Again, non-harmful. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be this a challenge to see how far you can get. But then the one character takes it too far.
Yeah.
And we'll find out why later. Again, another plot twist.
Yeah.
Then the other plot, the major plot twist is the detective, the dad, is the actual antagonist. He's the killer and the guy kidnapping all these kids.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? And that scene in particular, they frame it perfectly with the reveal. Because you think it's Alec.
Yeah.
The other kid.
Yeah.
Gonna knock him out. And then they frame over and it's the dad. And you're like, what?
And I really believed it.
Right? But then it's kind of a double take because it's like, oh, he's knocking him out because that's the guy that my wife slept with.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, okay, that's fine. And then it reveals the actual thing that he's the actual main killer. It's like there's so many things going on in your head. You're like, wait, what?
I think the misdirection of having the twist, you're like, oh, the detective did this. But it wasn't for the reason you thought it was going to be.
You didn't think at that point he was the actual main guy kidnapping all these kids.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, it absolutely is crazy. And there's more twists, but we'll kind of sneak them in as we talk more. But yeah, the other two characters, real quick. Owen Teague plays Alec. He's one of the Froggers.
He's in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, the newest Planet of the Apes. He plays the main character. Why am I forgetting?
The main
Noah. He plays Noah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he plays. I think pretty good job in that.
And then Linda Barrier as Mindy, the other Frogger, the innocent Frogger.
Yeah.
So, for you, what are the positives?
All right, positives.
Go down your list of positives.
All right. I really liked the premise in general. I feel like I've never like watched a movie like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I am hesitant to watch new movies that like aren't maybe like mainstream because like maybe like the expectations. But I think it's really good to like I'm really shocked and surprised at how well I did like the movie.
It's like a hidden gem.
Yeah. I felt like they juggled all the plots pretty good. Maybe some minor issues there, but overall, I'd say it was pretty easy to follow. The first half though was way slower, and I didn't like that.
It was a bit slow.
Yeah,
a lot of suspense.
I'll get into that.
It was a lot of build up and suspense.
Yeah, but I felt like the build up and suspense, like there's ways to like break it like slightly.
Yeah.
Like in small ways that aren't like jump scares.
Right.
But like I felt like it just kept building up, and then there was the cliffhanger right after the kid was tied up and then taken to the hospital. And then after that, then it's the vlogger's view.
Right.
And I was like confused at that point.
Yeah.
I felt like it was like way too jarring.
Yeah, they just kind of said, this is what happened. They rewind the whole movie, and you're rewatching it, but from someone else's point of view.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, but then they slowly connect it.
But then when it started slowly, after it started, then when that reveal, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
things start adding up.
yeah,
Wait, look at the smoking
and it
in the
got even
pot.
better and
Yeah,
better. It was like
yeah.
that middle half.
Mhm.
The beginning was just a little slow, and that middle half was like so jarring.
Yeah.
And then after that, when I was like understanding everything, I really started to like enjoy that. I was like, wow,
All right.
this was pretty interesting.
It's a very convoluted movie, but it's easy to follow.
I think the use of misdirection of the mom cheating,
Mhm.
and you're supposed to feel sorry for the dad
Right.
this whole time and care,
Mhm.
and the son also is ignoring his mom and hates him for what she's done.
Mhm.
And then after you find out that the dad did something way worse,
Yeah.
it's like a complete 180.
Mhm.
And I think the use of like any like negative view on the dad, like before you even find out everything, was like it was so hidden that masked everything
Yeah.
that because you're like the dad's just trying to do stuff. He's trying to find a kidnapper. He's got to
Yeah.
worry about his wife who
Mhm.
just cheated, may cheat again because the guy came back,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then they find out that he smacked him. And you're like, okay, that's the reason why he doesn't want his son,
Right.
because maybe. And I felt like they also misdirection of the son was doing some of this stuff
Yeah,
at first.
because they set him up as being pissed off at his mom,
Yeah,
yelling at her. So they thought he was
yeah,
dropping the pots on the guy's head and
hiding the
stuff.
mug and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Mhm.
I thought all that was done really well. Alex actor I thought was pretty good,
Mhm.
and at the very end when you figure out
He was the
what,
survivor.
yeah,
Yeah, the
and they
survivor.
didn't explicitly show it.
No. Yeah.
I like the way that they handled everything.
Mhm.
Everything wasn't just like spoon fed. I think
Right. Uh, I semi disagree with that.
okay,
I think the latter half of the entire plot, they spoon fed every little detail of the plot to kind of walk your hand through. Oh, this is what happened here. But every single detail. I
okay,
think they could have not literally showed you as a literal fact. This is what happened. I think you could have put it together yourself.
okay.
That a minor thing, but
I mean, I'm glad they didn't just go like into like a monologue at the end.
oh
He
yeah,
shoots
no,
the guy.
no,
He shoots because before he goes, wait, don't, and then he
yeah,
shoots him.
hmm
I'm glad like they didn't just explain that and like his
right,
reasoning, because I
hmm
think it would have ruined it. Like if there's like this whole antagonist monologue.
yeah.
Uh, what else did I have? The performances were pretty good. Maybe at first I thought maybe the mom was like, eh,
I didn't think she was the standout.
but then she wasn't the like you kind of thought she was maybe the main. I was like, there's no like main character. Like you would probably think that the husband's the main character
Right.
because he's dealing with juggling not the divorce, just anything, family dynamic,
hmm
and then this kidnapper that they put away,
Right.
but ends up with him the
Yeah.
whole time.
Uh-huh.
And I think they did the twist really good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Good.
But some of the things I did not like,
What are your
which
negatives?
actually a little bit, only like one major thing.
Okay.
I'd say the major thing was how jarring the transition from like the
hmm
first half was like 40 minutes in, and then all of a sudden you're on the vlogger's perspective.
mm
Because this whole time you've been following the family,
Right.
and it's just building up and building up. And then the vloggers thing, like it was like very slow. Like you're like, okay, I guess these like after you find out that somebody was in the house, then you're like, okay, these were the people in the house.
Right.
I think some people thought maybe like it can kind of like change it. Like maybe you thought that they were ghosts that they lived there
Mm.
before, um, and they're haunting. Um, but like, I think what they should have done was instead of having that cut, I think maybe the beginning they show the vloggers entering the house
Mm.
and give like bits and pieces of like the vlog footage throughout the movie, but enough that it was like it didn't give away major things.
Mm.
I feel like it was unnecessary for the supernatural part.
Mm. I think
Um,
they just wanted to go for a complete misdirection on every aspect that
yeah,
they could have went for,
yeah,
because there's a lot. So I think they just wanted to follow that theme. Like I agree and disagree with what you're saying, because then again, the major misdirection of that is gone because you know right away there's people in the house.
yeah.
Like that was a major twist.
Like maybe not like opening with that,
Mhm.
but still opening up with
Or make it more less subtle that it's not paranormal,
yeah,
but kind of give the hint. But
like it's a horror crime, and I
mhm.
feel like it's a nice misdirection with like the supernatural aspect, but I feel like they could have juggled it better and made it less about, because I feel like at a certain point you kind of know it's not supernatural.
Yeah.
Like it's maybe like a thought that like, oh, maybe it's a supernatural,
Mm.
but I didn't like really have that thought for like really long. I just thought putting it in bits and pieces. Like I'm trying to think of like what moments would be better
Mm.
to have like shown it. Like you, like, the vlogger, like where the woman is. Mindy is in the basement,
Mm.
and then I think they should have just paced it better. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it was just too jarring. I feel like maybe they could have showed less about the vlogging. I mean, and the reason why, because like he's targeting the detective,
Right.
but like you don't really know that. You're kind of confused on why he's doing this.
Right.
But like it was so like the first half following the family, then all of a sudden you're just following the vlogger. It was just like it was
Mm.
too jarring.
Yeah, and
Really overall, it was.
it got repetitive because you're watching the same movie just from a different point of view.
Yeah,
And at this point, it's
like
like, all right, I've
it's
seen
stuff
this
that we
already.
already seen.
Right.
So like, but it's just from the perspective of there.
Right.
So I felt like if you kind of see the perspective a little bit
Mm.
throughout the whole movie,
They could
I
have mixed
felt
it
the
in.
pacing. You still would have it still would have been a mystery, and I
Yeah.
don't think it would have taken away a lot of the twist, because the
Mhm.
biggest twist was the dad
Yeah.
being
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
kidnapper.
Mhm.
So I feel like they should have stuck with definitely building up to that. I feel like the misdirection of the supernatural, maybe intentional or not, but maybe it was. I think it was.
Mhm.
I feel like throwing that out, I think that would have been better.
Yeah, I can see that. I can agree with that.
That was pretty much.
I had one. I had the
Yeah.
score. It's good, but it's very, very, very repetitive. It's the same music through like every scene, just the weird like, again, paranormal noises.
Yeah.
To make you think again it's a paranormal, and they just kind of reuse that a lot. Like it fit like the scenes and the atmosphere, but it was kind of like just super repetitive. Again, a nitpick, but and a lot of little plot holes. Like they're in there for 5 days and they don't get caught. Like I feel like they'd be seen.
Well, I think the major part was like it's a big house. Like these
Yeah, but
people
like,
are living in like in this nice house. I mean, the dad only was going up into the big guest room,
but that was their hideout, the guest room,
but it was like
in a
the
little hidey
the
hole thing. But
whatever the outside of like the house is, like the inner walls,
Mhm.
like it was where the venting central air is.
Right.
They were just hiding it. Nobody's gonna go in there.
Yeah, but what if you had to check in that? It's like it's just one of
Yeah,
those
yeah,
things that, again, it's a movie. Obviously, you
yeah.
gotta
There was
suspend
some
the
plot
disbelief.
points
But
that.
you know, it's like I feel like if someone was hiding out in my house, because it's my house, there's nowhere to hide. But again, there's rooms that I never go into. But
Yeah,
like, I guess it depends on the house. But
yeah.
again, it's a minor nitpick.
What was your exact score?
For this,
Yeah.
like a 9.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really liked it.
I really liked it too, but I'll say that I'm gonna have it a 7 now, only
Mhm.
because I wish maybe somebody could edit the movie and put it in. Like I feel like just
You want to see
rearranging the editing.
you want
Yeah,
to see how it differs.
yeah. Because I
Fair enough.
know there's a similar thing if you've ever seen or heard about the movie Passengers with, um,
Oh, Chris Pratt, and
yeah,
I haven't seen it.
somebody like made a whole re-edit
Oh.
of the order of when you see events,
Mhm.
and it actually changes
Oh.
a lot of things. Like nothing was added; it was just
Mhm.
changing the order of everything edited.
Hmm. That's
So
interesting.
like it's possible to do that and make. And a lot of
Oh
people
yeah.
like were like, this was better
Hmm.
this way.
Yeah. No, I can see that. Someone do it,
Yeah,
and we will watch
yeah. Because otherwise, I feel like I'd be up there with like a 9.
it. Mhm.
I think so.
No, editing is a big thing.
It is.
The jarring thing, it does get repetitive. I can see that. Like, and again, I address those negatives, but I still love it. Like it,
Yeah.
just the twist itself just makes me like it because it's a wow moment.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like, despite the negatives, I kind of forget them. But yeah. You're just giving it a 7 because I hated Shaun of the Dead.
No,
Is
no, no, no.
that right?
I would have done a 7 even if I went first.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe I am a little salty,
Yeah, a little
but
salty.
that's not going to
Just a
change.
little salty. Shit movie.
Completely two different movies.
I know.
You you
Absolutely
can't
different.
compare them,
No, you can't.
but
You can't.
you can, but you can't. It's so weird. Like you can compare horror,
Hmm.
but then the horror aspect is different from there's no comedy
Yeah.
in ICU.
No, there's none.
You can't do it.
What was the weirdest scene in the movie for you?
What was the weirdest?
There's one,
What?
like a literal one weird scene. Like kind of just felt out of place and weird.
What is it?
Come on,
Maybe
you know it. Did you watch the same movie that I did?
I did, but like maybe I'm not catching what you.
There's a movie. There's a scene where you're like, "What?"
The peeing scene?
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
he
okay.
literally just pisses on him. Like, what?
Maybe he did that to him because he's
Maybe.
maybe.
You never know. Yeah, he literally just pisses on him while he sleeps. Alec to the dad,
And yeah,
and he thinks he pissed himself in the morning.
yeah.
But I was like, "What?" It felt weird.
So at what point, like when he woke up and he peed the bed, and he thought he peed the bed? Is that the moment, or like?
No, the moment when Alec literally pissed on him.
Oh, okay.
Like I thought he peed the bed. I'm like, all right, fine. But then the act of actually doing that, I was like, whoa, that's kind of. It felt weird.
I'm pretty sure lots of trauma as a kid, stuff like that. People pee the bed when they
Yeah, I can.
experience, especially. I'm assuming there was a lot of abuse.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna assume,
right.
only because of the connotations.
Hmm.
But I'm pretty sure stuff like that happens after like traumatized. So like
I can see that.
maybe that's him getting. That was just him
Yeah,
getting back. Like maybe he thinking he
or it's just
peed
good
the bed.
revenge.
That too.
Yeah, pissing on your enemy.
Yeah,
It's good revenge.
he was definitely broken because
Yeah,
he intentionally chose going to
yeah.
that house.
He knew about. Yeah, they don't really explain that. Obviously, this was the first time he went along with Mindy because she does it a lot. He doesn't. He
Yeah,
was like, "Oh, I'll tag along," but only because he knew that's who it was.
yeah.
But then again, they don't
He probably
explain
picked the
how he knew.
house, maybe.
Maybe because they don't explain how he knows it's their house, unless
Yeah,
he knew him all along. But why wouldn't you just tell the cops?
yeah. There was about
You
some,
know,
yeah, because like I don't know if you recognized him at the end because when he's in the
maybe
shadows.
maybe they recognize him when they're first filming and he zooms in on his face on the couch. Maybe that's when he recognized, and he actually did just go along, and it just happened to coincide. Maybe, but I
I
don't know.
think it was premeditated,
I do too. I
like from
yeah,
before entering
yeah.
the house.
Like that's why he went along because he said, "Or let's go to this house."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
But
would
yeah,
say so.
they didn't explain why or how he knew.
Yeah, those some of them were definitely unanswered.
Yeah, but it leaves it open
Yeah,
to mystery.
yeah. There's some open ended I'll forgive in movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
good movie. It's a good watch.
It was. I don't hate it any less, even if the score was 7.
Now, I think we might have the same answer here. How rewatchable is this for you?
I could definitely give it another rewatch, but I would really want to see an edit
Hmm.
of like the events. I'd probably rewatch it again.
Hmm.
Will I rewatch it like over and over again? Because the twist is like a big part of it.
Yeah.
So I feel like it might lose. No matter what, it's still a good film, but I feel like the rewatchability
Yeah.
is not pretty high,
Yeah, I
especially
agree.
with the twist.
Yeah, because again, I saw it 2, 3 years ago, and I like kind of knew and then forgot a lot of stuff. Like to be honest, I forgot the dad was the killer.
Oh,
Like
really?
yeah, from like I just totally like left my mind, and I was like, wait a minute, oh yeah, and I was like, it actually shocked me again.
Funny.
But yeah, so maybe if you give it a few years, you'll forget about it. Like
Yeah.
it'll like kind of go to the back of your mind. But
Yeah.
I have like it's like a maybe a once a year watch. It's you can't rewatch it a lot because
Yeah.
again, it's you watch it for the twist, and then once you know it, it's like all right,
Yeah.
it's still good, but it's not a rewatchable film like a comedy.
Yeah. And I'll say it again. Maybe an edit would help with rewatchability
I think it could.
because I feel like the rewatchability part is like you're going through the whole family thing. You kind of already know what's happened.
Yeah.
So that part's already slow.
Right.
So already knowing everything, it's like way too
Mhm.
slow, and then you got to go through it again
Right.
twice,
Mhm.
perspective of the vloggers.
Right.
So I feel like rewatchability there definitely not really high.
Yeah. No.
It's not like you can watch like Terrifier over and over again.
Yeah. No. That's a different breed. That's just a lot.
Or
It's too much.
any major slasher movie.
Yeah.
But
even Halloween is not super rewatchable.
yeah,
Like the first one.
yeah,
The other ones, because it's more of a slasher, yeah, maybe. But the first one, it's not very rewatchable
yeah.
because it's
I think
it's a drawn out story. So.
yeah,
But those are our movies.
yeah. We were gonna talk about themes.
Oh, I guess
And
we
would you
can.
recommend this movie?
Would you recommend this movie?
I would recommend this movie
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
I agree.
Despite some of the negatives, I think the twist. I'm very curious to see other people's reaction.
This is the part that's fun. You
It
know
is.
it, so you just kind of look at them and wait for the moment to
Yeah,
happen. Yeah.
I feel like the all that misdirection, it did pay off.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it was slow to get there, it did pay off because
Right.
like it was a satisfying ending
Mm-hmm.
because he shot and then it just cuts. I mean,
Right.
Alec is still alive because he's on the stretcher,
Mm-hmm.
blinking. So I think the realization from Detective Spitsky when he says his name,
mm-hmm.
and then he realizes that's the boy,
Mm-hmm.
and then he puts two and two together.
Right.
And obviously the dad was like, I feel like the dad was like almost certain what he was saying was true, kind of like denial, because
mm-hmm.
he was like, no, you kidnapped the kids,
Yeah,
and stuff like that
mm-hmm.
before everything.
And then real quick, another misdirection when Alec stabbed like bar soap with the green knife.
Oh yeah,
You're like, oh, well, that's the green knife, so it's got to be him. He's the killer.
yeah.
And then you find out that the dad gave him that knife, like in the way flashback. Like he put it in his pocket, so he's always held on to it.
Yeah.
And the Pez dispenser,
mm-hmm.
Yoshi.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. So what? I guess what themes did you find?
There was a lot of forgiveness.
Uh-huh.
I feel like there's like because the mom wants forgiveness from the dad and the son for what she did, but I feel like not until like the very end, the dad didn't actually want forgiveness because like I feel like as soon as he realized, oh, he is about to die.
Yeah.
I think there was a forgiveness, but he's not gonna get that. I
No.
feel like in time, the mom will be forgiven for the son because I feel like the contrast of like everything that happened.
Right. It'll bring them closer together.
Yeah. Versus like also revenge.
Yeah.
Because the mom wanted forgiveness, but then the dad was still with the mom.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times those relationships don't work after somebody cheating.
Right.
So I guess the implication of like the dad forgiving the mom slowly and the son maybe coming around, but then the contrast of what the dad did, like that's like almost pretty much universally unforgivable.
Oh, yeah.
So like
almost, yeah, no, it is. You can't come back from that.
Yeah.
Murdering.
And then the family dynamic of like
yeah.
cheating and like how it affects the son and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe the son was gonna play like a major part, but not. But like
no, he kind of just fueled some of the stuff.
Yeah, it definitely helped the plot because all that misdirection with the mom's guilt and stuff like that. There's a lot of themes.
Yeah, forgiveness, like you said, trauma, and like revenge. Three biggest ones. Yeah. And those are like the three main storylines.
Pretty much. Yeah, they all came together, and they came all together nicely.
Yeah, it made a nice sandwich.
And I would, I talked about.
You would recommend.
I would recommend it.
Yeah. Cool.
And we agreed for the most part.
Yeah.
Are you surprised I didn't rate it higher?
No. I can kind of see it not being. For other, I don't know. It's subjective, but I don't think universally this is a 10 out of 10 movie. I just really like it because of the twist. But I see all the flaws, and other people will account the flaws.
Yeah.
I just kind of forget them.
And again, I like rating is like anything below 5 is pretty much like actual dog shit movie.
Oh yeah, 5 is like a good extreme average. Anything above that is watchable. Anything below that, I won't rewatch it.
Pretty much.
Like I wouldn't even give it a shot.
Like this, I could see myself rewatching again. But like, not as many times as like any other movie. Like, I'll rewatch Shaun of the Dead more times than this movie.
Yeah, I can see the rewatchability in that for other people than this. It's a different kind of movie. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Those are our movies.
Yeah,
a nice, no hits below the belt conversation with all the controversy. Played nice.
No, controversy is necessary.
It's good. Makes things interesting. Shifts it up.
Good versus evil.
Yeah. We can't agree on everything.
Yeah.
And we won't. And I'm sure there's more out there.
Yeah.
We'll get into this. One day.
This was a fun experience.
It was.
Because I was a little surprised of you not liking Shaun of the Dead.
I was watching the movie. I'm like, this is gonna be interesting. Like, I was like, oh, scared. But yeah, no, yeah.
I won't hold any grudges.
Yeah, maybe. But those are our movies, and I think that
I'll ask you a question.
Hmm?
So, did it influence you watching the movie because I recommended it? I can't even.
No, because I think
Recommended
typically you have good recommendations. So if anything, I thought it would have helped.
Okay.
But no, this was. I don't think it did influence. Because if it did, I think I would have liked it more.
Okay.
So it's my honest reaction. If I watched this on my own, I'd have the same reaction.
Okay.
Mhm.
Respect.
Yeah.
Don't agree, but respect.
You don't have to agree, and that's what's great about this world. You don't have to agree. Let's set the timer for the bomb now.
All right. What movie should we do next?
I don't know. Let us know.
Let us
You
know.
tell us what movie.
Yeah.
We'll wait how long. We'll see how long it takes for us to film a new one. You tell us. We got some ideas.
Something old or new. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. There's a lot coming out. So
movies that don't have a lot of traction already. Or, even if they're like older movies that like nobody's really like delved into anyways.
Like I See You.
I'm waiting. Like I want to find a movie. Like we find a movie where like we actually hate it. Will we still review it?
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm like, what's the point?
I feel like we need.
What's the point of like not reviewing? Like, what's the point of reviewing a movie that's like we didn't even like anyway? So what's the point?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think that's like because maybe we hate it so much, but everybody else loves it.
Yeah. Some horror hot takes.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll delve into some like horror hot takes.
Yeah.
In the future, that gets some controversy going.
I love controversy.
Yeah, we'll fight, we'll brawl it out. We got some ideas, but yeah. I think for now, this will be the episode.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed. We hope it was fun.
We hope to see you next time.
Yeah. Come back, join us. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell notifications.
And share with your friends.
And
as well.
Share
that also like horror stuff.
Spread the word. Bully me for my opinions.
Yeah.
Spark the controversy. Yell. Be angry. Be civil.
Yeah. Civil enough.
Yeah. Hit the bell so when we upload, you'll know when it goes live.
Yeah.
Immediately. You'll get a notification.
You might not know.
Yeah. But we're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. X. We're on Facebook. We're on Spotify. TikTok. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like us, follow us there. Be part of the community.
Yeah.
The Killer Media podcast community. And yeah.
All right. See you next time.
Yeah. See you next time.
All right.
All right. Bye.